situation here at the center. I must say the weather also looks quite promising. We are already entering the dry season, and I try to find out why they decided to organize this in the open. In the event of the rains, what happens? I am told that inside that building, they can smoothly move the polling process into that building, and then so they have no fears about the weather disrupting the process here so far. Over to you.
Okay. All right, thank you very much. So that was Mutala, who is our correspondent in Tamale, bringing us exactly what's happening there. Obviously, voting has started there. And the northern region has got 11,803 delegates that are expected to vote there. Likewise, the voter region also have about 11,000, but 995 delegates that are expected to also vote there. If you're just joining us, this is our coverage of the NPP presidential primaries that is coming off today, November 4, to elect the presidential candidate ahead of the 2024 elections. This whole exercise started about 70 days ago, where they had 10 candidates. And according to the constitution of the New Patriotic Party, if the number exceeds 5, a super delegate conference will be held to put it down to 5. So they had 10. The exercise was organized somewhere in August 26, 2023. And then 5 people came out, including Dr. Baomia Kene Japan, Alan Tremantin, Dr. Usefri Yakuto, Francis Adainimu, and Boache Jako. Adainimu and Boache Jako were on a tie. Well, Errada was supposed to organize for Select 1, but subsequently, Boache Jako had to drop off based on certain issues he found not right. Continue with this. Let's quickly go to the New Patriotic Party headquarters and talk to Maurice Obuti for an interview over there. Maurice.
For the agents to identify themselves. I mean, and they were all very in a jovial manner. To me identify joking at the anti Yamani dear, just a process I come up so far. Oh, me GT pass
Why do you openly declare support for Dr. Bobie?
What is wrong with it? I finished voting. There's nothing wrong with declaring.
So I want to know what about his candidature you so much like? What about his candidature you so much like?
He's a very good person. He's proved himself in this party. He's humble. He's approachable, very affable. And most importantly, he's a very efficient. He's shown that he's a very efficient vice president. He's led us well, and I believe that the mantle should be handed over to him.
The candidates are more than they are all weak. Do you agree to that?
Why any candidates are weak?
The 4 candidates. The 4 candidates.
Why they can't have candidates? MPP for Munina Esefata. It's in Yakane say, yeah, share 4 now. Or more pray akonwano ho na ya choosing near you feel say or no bet to me aye chen or munina
the caliber of Eduboahen, the caliber of before Nanado near there. That is why she says some according to researchers feel say
researchers being political watchers and he doesn't know more than the rest of the 200,000 voters on betu abene no ye be yinie ye feel say obetumi the acha 2024 December 7th no na ye believe it say
ministers any MPs na omunyina ye Dr. Mamu aden omampenya frem se mu
never omampenya nyesada. In fact, only me beno because of me juma. Only me can one sem da. Yan kasa ya tina say, and it just so happens to say coincidence say yenina ya show mu for ni na mu nyina ya da fofo yenuanum ye ne wo mu ko ba
member of parliament or parliament yet ministers MP.
Sami me nyem MP. Me a former MP, 4-term former MP, but my shemu nyina mu for no Dr. Baomia Nebe to me, Eddie Cha, 2024.
So your candidate will be moving into the 2024 elections with the Ghanaian economy going through a turmoil. What will be the narrative going into the 2024 elections?
Niama yet to say Sena Anka is to say but let's not also forget say this same government before COVID took us through to a point where the economy was so good. We were one of the 7 fastest growing economies in the world. Inti yaye bida. Asem na aba in terms of COVID, ni Russia, Ukraine na there. Inti asem na aba nisa. But yes, and it's getting better.
So the narrative will be that that will be the narrative.
The narrative will be that yaye bida. Na yenso na yebe ni yesu.
But in 2014, Special Electoral College, Mampeni Akufo-Addo at the time, they fully over 80%, and our the main contest na kasabenya over 95%. You show the Special College amoye and the percentage of the Vice President is 68.15%. So they compare percentage ben na show between
by say Vice President the percentage be 80%, and it's beautiful for me because for Vice President yeah papa Nana Akufo-Addo then no now through elections be me can be Ansah into through election Vice President the first major one fully almost 70%. I mean it's beautiful until near no you be na 80%.
All right, so we are here at the party headquarters. That was the Minister for Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, Honorable Sherry Ayoko-Botwe, who has declared openly his support for Dr. Bawumia. What we picking up is that the President, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, is coming to cast his ballot here at the party headquarters. We would await the arrival of the President. We will try and see if we're able to talk to him and get some few words after he cast his ballot. So we are here at the MPP headquarters. Some 463 persons or delegates are expected to cast their ballot at the MPP headquarters. It's a makeup of reps from the diaspora, the National Executive Council, the Council of Elders, who are supposed to cast their ballot at the MPP headquarters. And so we are still here. We'll bring you all the update here at this particular polling station, which is the NPP headquarters. As I said, His Excellency the President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo anytime soon will be making his way into this particular arena to cast his ballot, so that we are able to speak to him, understand exactly what he makes of the process so far, and what his expectations of the process will be by close of polls, which is supposed to end at 2 p.m. Don't forget that voting started at 7 a.m. We were at the Ayawaso East Constituency not too long ago. The process has been very, very, very smooth, and it's the same we see here at the party headquarters. Not too long ago, I saw Richard Ahinyagba, who is the National Communications Director of the ruling MPP, making his way into the party headquarters building. We'll try and speak to him as and when we see him once again. But we are still here at the NPP headquarters, where some 463 delegates, including the President, are expected to cast their ballot. So it's a contest between His Excellency Dr. Bawumia, an economist and a banker, Deputy Governor of the Bank of Ghana at a point, until 2008, when he was chosen as the running mate to His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. He's been very much into the economics of the Republic of Ghana. His expertise are in international financing, microeconomics, banking, and what have you. Chaired the economic management team since 2017 till now. He's putting himself up for this particular election. We also have Kennedy Ohene-Japon, a businessman and a politician, also studied some economics in the US. He's a chair of the Security Committee in Parliament. And so the contest very much is between the two of them. And so we are still here at the party headquarters we waiting for the arrival of the president, Cecily Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, who is expected to cast his ballot here. So we'll hand over back to you in the studio. As and when we cast glimpse of him, we'll bring you the live pictures. Stay with us.
Right.
All right, thank you very much. So that was Maurice there at Asalam Down, where the headquarters of the New Patriotic Party is actually situated. And there was an interview earlier with the Minister for Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, that's Shirley Ayoko-Botchwey, obviously declaring her support for one of the candidates there after she has actually cast her ballot. If you're just joining us once again, this is GTV, this is also GBC News, and it's our coverage of the NPP's presidential primaries that is coming off today. Voting is expected to end at 2 this afternoon. And from the information gathered so far from our correspondents, so far we've been taking you to the Ashanti region. We've had some reports coming from the Greater Accra region. We've also taken you to the northern region. We'll take you across all the countries and let you know exactly what's happening there. But so far, voting has actually started across the various voting centers. And I was telling about the delegates expected to vote from the guidelines given by the New Patriotic Party. If you go to 29, Section 29, this says that according to the NPP Constitution, Article 1311, the November 4 presidential elections are comprised of the following delegates: all members of National Council, all voting members of the National Executive Committee, all voting members of the Regional Executive Committee, all voting members of the Constituency Executive Committee, all electoral area coordinators, the 5 polling station executive officers in each polling station. These are the chairman, the secretary, organizer, youth organizer, and then women organizer, and then 15 members of the National Council of Elders to be elected from amongst themselves, 15 patrons to be elected from among themselves, all party members of parliament, past national officers, 3 representatives each of the special organs of the party, that is the women's organizers, Nasara, and then the youth wing, and then 12 delegates from every external branch. There are about 27 branches in all. Founding members who were signatories to the registration document of the party at the Electoral Commission, 1 TESCON representative from each organized tertiary institutions, all party card-bearing ministers and deputy ministers, and then all MMDCEs. So this makes up the total delegates of those.
And this is the breakdown, actually, George. So for the total number of delegates, we have 203,439, and that makes up across the country. We have Ahafo 4,204, Ashanti 34,987. But before we go down with the breakdown, we have Swala Abdul Wahab. Thelma, you might want to engage with Swala.
Yes, let's engage with Swala. Swala will be linking us to the Bolga area, telling us what is happening there. Swala, thank you for making time. I'm sure that you've monitored activities there in part of Accra and Ashanti, where we have had reports in the northern region as well. Voting has already started. Can you say that's the same situation in the part of the country where you are, Swala?
Yeah, Winnie, I can say that voting started exactly 7 o'clock at the Wa Central Constituency in the Upper West region. In the Upper West region, we have 11 constituencies, but the Wa Central Constituency is the biggest of all the 11. So they have to divide it into 2. So I'm saying that instead of 11 constituencies, we have 12. And the Wa Central Constituency is taking place at the Wa Technical Institute. This is where the Wa Central Constituency is set up. So we have 2 polling stations, polling station A and polling station B. So what happens is that when delegates come, you can see the delegates in picture now. When they get here, the first thing they do is to come to this man who is here to first of all check whether his or her name is there. When that is established, then they now move to the checkpoint here, and this is where the police will scan them. So this is a delegate and the police is scanning him. apart from this particular incident that we have run into, the exercise has been going on smoothly since morning. And now this is polling station A, and you can see a queue of delegates waiting to cast their votes, and they are waiting patiently to do that as their democratic right. I have my colleague here, Emmanuel Mensah. I want to find out from him. He's been here observing the proceedings. I want to find out from him what he has made so far with the exercise.
So far, everything has been under control in terms of security-wise. The police are on top of their duty. The regional commander, Wabu, is here, as well as the crime officer, as well as the operation officer, Idi. They are all here making sure that whatever they're supposed to do is done well. You recall earlier in the morning when we were coming, there was an issue at the gate there. There was a vehicle that has been branded with one particular party member's picture, and the fellow was being stopped from entering by. There was an altercation there, and they have to talk to the man to cool down. Later on, they understood and removed the picture before they were allowed in. And they are making sure that you are processed at the gate. If you don't have anything doing here in terms of casting your vote, or you are a security person, you will not be allowed to enter here. So that is very good. One thing also I have observed is that they are taking the phone from the delegates at the gate. You keep it there, you come and vote. Thereafter, you'll be handed over. When you get there, if you have a password on it, they will let you open. If you are able to open, that means it belongs to you. Or they ask you to tell them the number in the phone, the chip number, and they dial, and we go through there, you are giving back to ensure that nobody picks any other person's phone. So far, everything is going under control.
So you've been listening to my colleague, Emmanuel Mensah, also sharing his perspective on how the exercise has gone so far. I want to quickly run you through the total number of delegates that we have in the region. We have a total of 6,657 who are expected to cast their votes in the region. And out of this figure, Wa Central has 1,068. And because of the big number in the Wa Central, that is why the EC has divided the polling stations into two. So here we have A and B. Then when you go to Wa West, we have 747 delegates. Jirapa has 743. Wa East has 662. Kaleo Nadole has 620. Sisala East has 521. Sisala West has 510. Laura has 494. Nandom has 485. Lambusie has 439. And the Fema Duse Isa has 368. The Fema has the smallest number of delegates. So this is what has transpired here in the Wa Central constituency in the upper regions out of the 11 constituencies. We will be moving to other constituencies in a moment from now to find out how the exercise started in the other constituencies, and we will update our viewers on what is happening in the Upper West region regarding the presidential primaries. Back to you, Winnie. If you have questions for me, I'm ready.
Thank you. Our correspondent, Swala Abdulwahab. Swala, no questions for you at this time, but we will certainly return when you've moved on to other centers so we can keep monitoring the events as they unfold in the Upper West region. Keep up the good work and do keep safe. Swala just gave us a report from this particular polling center in the Upper West region, capital Wa. he's telling us that even though the NPP gave a number of 6,640 delegates expected to vote in that region, 6,657 will actually be taking part in the proceedings there. So polling stations have been split into two. He walked into a situation where some agents of some political people, the aspirants, are being accused of influencing voters to vote a certain way, but it seems like that situation had been handled competently by the electoral officials, and so that was the feel that we got from the center where he is now in the Upper West region. We'll go over now to our correspondent who is also other correspondents who are standing by to take us. We're going to take you to Teshi so we get a feel of what's happening there. Sarah was on our lines a few moments ago, and we will reconnect with Sarah and then we'll tell you what the situation is there. But I'm still here with George and Winifred, and we'll try to understand what was happening in Wa a bit more, because there are provisions about influence peddling, and there were strict, concerns that there should be no campaigning and no influencing on the day of the voting. What are the strict guidelines? Because we've heard that some people's phones have been taken, because that was part of the plan, George. Yes.
I mean, if you look at the guidelines, section 35 issued by the NPP, that's voting offences shall include the following: 1, to vote or attempt to vote more than once, and then B, to buy or sell a vote, C, to compel somebody to vote in a particular way, which was one of the issues raised there when we went to Swala. D, to obstruct a delegate from freely exercising his or her right to vote. E, to display your marked ballot paper. And then this one was actually bolden. That is, if an offense, it is an offense to take a photo of how you voted in a particular way.
So could it be a reason why their phones are being taken at the entrance of the polling center?
Yes, to prevent this from actually happening. And it's something that during the super delegates conference that also came up, and the party actually has put in a lot of measures to ensure that something like this does not occur in this main exercise.
It is actually a fact I would want us to confirm from our other correspondent, because we've spoken already with Mutala, with Nicholas, and Morris actually when he went to the Nima cluster of schools, but we haven't heard about this provision being exercised in that polling station. So probably when they come back, we may want to find out if
it's happening.
It's happening.
Okay. Do we have Sarah on the line?
Yes, we have Sarah. So let's go to Sarah.
So Sarah is in the and she'll be sharing what is happening
there. Where expected that delegates from the Lejokuku constituency would be making a choice as to who is to lead the NPP come 2024. We are told that we have about 1,738 delegates expected to vote and choose who should lead the NPP come 2024. It's been 2 hours since the voting started, and we are told that 100 voters or 100 delegates have already casted their ballots. The EC, the entire constituency has been demarcated into 12 electoral areas. But currently at Teshi Camp 2 JHS, you find that there are 2 polling stations stationed here, and 1 polling station on my far left, I'm told, has 7 electoral areas. And where I'm currently standing, we have 5 electoral areas. And since voting began at about 7 a.m., over 100 delegates have already casted their ballots. I can see that the elections is being highly patronized, because you have hundreds of delegates standing under the scorching sun waiting for their turn to cast their ballots. Earlier on, I was interacting with the constituency secretary, Mr. Wisdom Donko, who is will share with us the profile of this constituency, which is Lejokuku constituency. Please join me, Mr. Donko. You're welcome to GBC News.
Thank you very much, madam.
All right. So we came here. We've seen that this particular contest or primary is being highly contested. Share with us the profile of this constituency.
Thank you very much, and I'll greet every delegate that is voting today that the good Lord should be with the MPP party, so that at the end of the day, the best person wins, and it is a party win for all of us. This is a constituency made up of 342 polling stations, making about 1,710 polling station executives, 17 constituency executives, 19 electoral area coordinators. Even though the Electoral Commission has 12 electoral areas, by the party regulations, because the polling stations are more, we have to divide some. That's why we have 19. The constituency have a voting population strength of over 150,000 people. In the last registered limited registration and transfer, we had over 5,000 people also joining in. That is expected. Whatever will happen next year, we are expected to have about 160,000 voting in Lejokugu 2024 general elections. This is the overview. This constituency stands from Accra More, that's our jurisdiction. Accra More all through to the Kweshi, from Kweshi to 3rd Junction to Sprinters, all down Coca-Cola to Manette Junction. That forms the Lejokugu constituency.
So, interacting with some of the delegates earlier on, I gather that the contest is between Dr. Bawumia and Mr. Kennedy Ejapon. Can you tell me what the prospects of these two candidates are to winning the Greater Accra seat for the MPP?
Very well, it is true as they may have stated. Accra is a cosmopolitan environment where we have everyone in the country in it. So it is not a place that one can hold on to it. But we are still looking at it, that will be highly contested. But the one who will win by far.
Okay, so tell me, share with us, have you had any challenges since voting began at about 7 a.m.? Because when I came in, what I noticed is that some people are confused as to where they belong to even cast their ballot. So share with me, what are some of the challenges that have been encountered?
The parties brought it out that we should have 2 centers in each constituency where the voter strength is more than 1,000 delegates, should be split into 2. But the album, that is the register that is being used, came out of the electoral area system. But as I said, because this constituency, we have 12 electoral areas, by zonal coordinators are 19. It seems there are some places which are missing. But as much as possible, when we started, some were trying to locate where exactly they are. But we have taken pain and time to show them. So as I will speak, it is going well. But it's just that the Electoral Commission, because this is a purely internal thing, the polling stations as it stands and the album formation looks a little bit stressful for them comparing to their main register they use for their main election. That is why if a voter gets to them, it takes more than a minute or 2. And this is not like the national election where we are doing biometric registration, whereby the album also, it is in a way that it is in their bosom, which they understand it better. That is why it seems that we're having 1 or 2 challenges. But for now, everybody has seen. So it's the queue that we are praying that it moves faster for us.
Okay, so prior to the elections, we were told that any delegates wearing party paraphernalia would not be allowed, or maybe wearing a candidate's paraphernalia would not be allowed into the polling station. I haven't seen any of such around, but one disturbing thing that I have noticed is vote buying from the 2 hotly contested or candidates contesting for this position. How disturbing is this to the party?
To be honest, what you are saying is a news to me. I am learning from you that there is vote buying. I've been here since 5 a.m. Delegates are moving in and coming out. What happened was that the party knows that we have delegates coming all the way from Matechu, some coming from the Greater Estate, and we are using only 1 center. The party just provided some TNT. If I even mention the figure to you, you'll be wondering how come a party in government, why they gave their people that. It was just a little token of 50 Ghana cedis for delegates to transport themselves all the way from Matechu this way. That is the only thing I know for now. For the candidates themselves, I have not seen their agents or their people doing any maneuvering. So we are still watching. But as you have said, maybe we'll watch and see.
So I could also see that earlier when I interacted with the police, I was told we have 38 police officers here. Is it enough to restore any law and order should any skirmishes come up?
For sure. The 38 is a good number. This place is Camp 2. It has 3 entry points, whereby they have blocked the back. They are using the front one for entry, the second one for exit. And we have never had a party internal election on these premises before. It is the first one, and the executives are very happy about how it looks like. It is just the album that going forward we will see, because there's enough space and stuff. For the police number, it's enough for us. Ourselves, it is just an internal election. Conversations have gone on that we should ensure that nobody comes here to do anything that will bring bad reputation to ourselves. So we don't even expect anything. But for the purposes of security, that is why the number also is sizable and is good for us.
It appears the queue isn't moving, and that's the complaint of some of the delegates standing under the scorching sun. What provisions have you probably made to ensure that they are not on the scorching sun and even the queue moves faster as a constituency secretary?
The party wants to tell delegates and even party lovers outside the delegates box that we are preparing ourselves for the 2024 election. The slogan for the party is that we want to break the 8. So with the party, in the wisdom of the party, this is like a dress rehearsal. So if you can envisage and see national elections, this is how it is done. It is vote and go. So we are practicing national election. Very soon there will be district assembly elections, i.e. it is not purely political. It is something that almost everyone here will be involved in. So everything we are doing is just a dress rehearsal. So we will beg them to bear with us. Because in the general election, it will be the same. It may even rain, and still we have to vote for the MPP.
Thank you so much, Mr. Wisdom Donko. You are the constituency secretary for Lejokukuku. Let me go to the polling area, which has been cordoned off, to interact with some of the delegates who have been in the queue since morning. Hello, sir.
I go talk Gao.
Okay, if you want to talk Gao, I go interpret it for my people.
Yeah.
What be your name?
My name is
Okay, what is your name?
My name is Richard Ashide.
Okay.
AKA what is written.
Okay. Yeah. So which of the electoral areas you belong to, or the zones you belong to?
Accra West.
Okay. It was mere time of Babiene.
Babiene
Sisemi. Ni still le shako no.
Oh, ni bene ale fast. E okay. Or by 2 hours so la gesana gbena. Koni juwe kabami.
Okay.
Goskeji ete do mi enu amege juwo. They want to free and fair. Obotwe. Wo solemoji sani by 2 no fiano fi pepe. She no go many igba wo naji. What she executive ji megbe te amana wo. Na me ka me awo TNT si be ka ba bi ene ame anu koloko yo ni ina me anwo le wunji ame ka ba be ske ko ja mi ame ka mo me ba na 20 million si ni wo ba ni wo na ge ina ba ke wo fi ebemi ame la ka wo wa wo la ka mo na me la ka wo ohun try ke bo ba tun wo jo mo perfect.
Oh, you are done at GBC News. Interact. I'm just interacting with one of the delegates who is hoping for a free and fair elections, and that he's been here since 6 a.m. and it's still not gotten to his tent, but he believes that at the end of the day, the people's choice would be made. So over to you in the studios. We'll be moving from here to the Krowa constituency to also find out what is happening there, whether it's as keenly patronized as the Lejokuku constituency.
All right, so that was Sarah there, giving us that report from Lejokuku constituency. Interesting reaction, interaction also coming from the delegates. If you're just joining us, this is our coverage of the NPP presidential primaries that is coming off today. Started at 7 this morning and it's expected to end at 2, when voting will come to an end at all polling stations, and then subsequently counting will begin, and then the final declaration hopefully will be done today if there's no other tie coming in there. Hopefully that will be done today. And we'll be taking you over to Theophilus.
Yes, Theophilus will be reporting to us from the Korle-Klottey constituency. Okay. And we're told he's at the YMCA Center. Yeah. Theo, what can you tell us about happenings where you are? I'm
gathering that he's not ready yet.
He's not
ready yet.
The interesting thing I found from Sarah's report is the guy that he spoke to right now. We're just having a good laugh, weren't we? That it's a good thing the counting is not going to go on into the evening hours because under the cover of darkness.
A lot of things can happen.
How did he say it?
Doing me.
That is not I like that.
So it's not going to go into the dark hours because, like George has told us, voting is expected to end at 2 p.m. and then counting will begin. So we are reaching out to our correspondents across the country to bring you the details and all the happenings as and when they do happen right here on GBC News and GTV.
All right, so Theophilus is ready now. So let's quickly take you over to Theophilus, who's at YMCA at Korle-Klottey. Theo, good morning to you, and what can you share with us this morning?
Hello.
Yes, Theophilus, I can hear you.
To you as well.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Theophilus. We are glad to have you on our screens. Tell us what is happening at your center.
Theo, we can hear you. Just go.
Thank you very much, Winifred. I am coming to you live from the YMCA here in Accra, where it's standing for the Korle-Klottey Constituency Center A and B, where we are witnessing an interesting spectacle here. People have trooped in their numbers. Officials have it that we are expecting 1,173 people, delegates, to come and really exercise their franchise here. And you can see both young and old, those who really are qualified are here to really do it. And so from 8 a.m. Action has been here. This place has been lively. You can see a long winding queue here. Everybody eager to really exercise their franchise. Why? Because they feel this is the time for us to really see them also having their say when it comes to who leads the Elephant Party. That's the new patriotic party. So as you watch us here, you can see everything is orderly here. Security is at top notch. Every nook and cranny, you can see security officials all over. You can see delegates also here, party reps also here. Everybody, agents, everybody is eager. Everybody, if you get closer to them, they will tell you, we just want to exercise our franchise. You can see some of them in their morning cloth. They have funerals to go, but some of them says we need to cast our ballot. We need to really exercise our franchise here before we leave. So you can see an elderly woman here really making sure that she will pick one of the four to really lead the party. And so you see them, they are all coming, and it is very, very orderly here. The coordination has been good here. Everything since I came here, I haven't seen any disturbances here or there. Some party executives are here as well. So let me get closer to Mom and just find out from her how excited she is. Mommy, oh, find a show any okwami fio here be any or live here GTV. Oh, find a touch up with them.
I tell me Beatrice Masope.
Auntie B, many one abo.
Yes, Petian say, Mabasabas Bia Emma. The Nippon so Benya Ahonke count Boko Akoto Maba, no Kufi, Akochain resource no, and one mesh.
The Electoral Commission you crowd to Abana, Ubeto Moini.
Udia Grana. Oh, I say a secret. What is a by it's not Ghana, is by secret voting. No, that principle,
secret voting so penny for baby, but two baby are now woman declare baby, a woman deco. A idea more penny for most support is a Uba two baby, the abit me declare baby out to coin.
David.
It's your the natural momo, yes, sir.
Mobia and yes, idea. You don't want to prejudice voters, no, I drink. Indeed, we'll be out to a secret voting now, call baby.
Chairman, what's the assurance that this election will be free and fair?
Aha, my baby, a macubiano. That decline said it to be free and fair because mean did the beer baby.
Chairman, squad delegates, Oma, Omen Dimbra, so Yan TBB foul. What's the assurance say? And the Omomba Bumbrano, Bepansio.
Oh, particular instance, beer officer, Kanchemiana, baby, or more and Nimrasu, who be sad.
Oh, there were breaches, I mean, Ashanti region, a month for Omotobarino, Omutre, and all of that. Nina concerns in the by say, or some punishment, Yan TBB foul.
Then you're not cranny into two crannies.
One punishment,
my end to obey in you. I feel better, dear.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, that's Primaries. Come on,
who is also a member of the party, has already cast her vote, and she is here. I don't know if she is confident the person that she voted for would be winning the race today. But over 275 of the delegates in the Nabdam constituency would be voting, and then Madam is one of them who I just talk to her before she steps out. Good morning. You are live on GBC News.
Morning.
Yes, Madam. You entered there, realized that you already cast your vote. When you were casting your vote, what came to your mind before you took the decision?
This decision has been taken a long time.
Okay.
As a DC of the area, we know this is the system of the party. And I know today will be the day for us to come to the cash.
Okay.
So it's not any new change.
All right. So it's your favorite candidate winning?
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't have any favorite. But my favorite candidate that I voted.
Okay. God will be winning.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll wait to see. Okay. So we'll wait to see. So you heard the DC who has already cast her vote. She has just told us that her favorite candidate is definitely winning. I will definitely be entering into the polling center where a lot of voting is ongoing, but some party elders are also still seated here. We have the former chairman of the party. Former chairman of the party is rightly seated here. An elder of the party is equally here. They are here to ensure that the exercise goes on smoothly. We have Mr. Wala, who is the former presiding member of the Nabdam District Assembly, a member of the party, and a whole lot of other party elders, including my senior brother or uncle, Mr. Baturi, is also seated here, monitoring to ensure that this exercise ends successfully. Let me take you down inside. Okay, so Anima Daniel is a member of the communication team. Okay, so he's the communication officer of the party, and he hopes that one of the candidates would be specific. Oh, I've not asked you yet. Why are you in a hurry?
I'm preempting you.
Okay, so have you voted?
No, I'm about going to vote.
Okay, so what do you expect? What are the chances?
It's a massive win for Bawumia. A minimum of, I predicted earlier that he was going to get 95% minimum. But now we are revising our notes, so I'm sure he's going to get 97% minimum. But actually, we are expecting 100%. But on the likely event we are not able to get, a 97 wouldn't be a bad number for us.
It came up that last night you people did not sleep. There were a lot of camping somewhere, a lot of envelopes given out to your delegate from Bauria. Is that true?
I can't authenticate whether envelopes were given, but however, we engaged the delegates until today, and we are still engaging them because we are leaving no stone unturned. We are assuming that everybody is for Bawumia. However, you must still engage them. I can't authenticate whether envelopes were given, but I have not received mine. If mine is with you, you can give it to me as we speak.
Okay. Right. Thank you very much, Ima. So let me go inside the voting center where people are casting their votes. You see that it is a bit distant from where the people are because they want to ensure that the exercise goes well with people do not go inside there to distract the exercise. And so they are a bit distant from where they are casting their votes. And so we're about to enter the social center where this exercise is ongoing. You see that a lot of police officers are gathered here in their numbers. A lot of the police officers are here in their numbers, ensuring that there is security, there is sanity is ensured in this part of the voting center. And so you see that people are here queued. They are queued here in their numbers just to cast their votes. I'm minding my voice because the place is silent and people are queued to vote. But I want to quickly see whether I can just talk to one person. How are you, my dear?
I'm fine, please.
Okay, so you are coming to cast your vote?
Yes, please.
Why would you be casting your vote? I mean, what is going to inform your decision?
Today is the day that we are coming to elect one candidate to represent the MPP party for the presidential candidate.
Okay.
That is why we are here.
Okay.
Yes, please.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay, so you heard from him. You see that people are taking their ballots. We have some agents seated over there. One coming from Bawobia, that is Mr. Michael Zore. He's seated right here, and he is confident of victory at the end of the day. But the agent from Ken Ejapon says that it is his brother, and so he is also equally confident of victory at the end of the day.
And at the end, we get a showdown.
Good. So we have our also brother here who is ready, sitting in for Adanimo. Right. So who the person who is conspicuously missing, or the agent that is missing here, is that of Dr. Osei Okoto. He has no agent here for now. We are hoping that maybe within the day he would get an agent later to join us. But the exercise is smoothly going on here. The EC officials seated here with some security officials, ensuring that there is security in this part of the electoral or the polling station. And so that is just what is happening here. I can tell you that at the end of the day, by 2 p.m., a decision will have been taken over, and then we will tell you what happens here at my colleague is also here. He has come all the way from Pusiga district where he works. He has come to take part in the decision making of this particular political party in the Nabdam constituency. Peter, you came all the way from Pusiga.
Yes.
This shows that it is important for you.
It's very important for us too.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, it's very necessary. So I have to come and also cast my vote.
Okay.
As a delegate.
All right.
Here is Bawumia House.
Okay, so I think that we have had enough of some of the delegates speaking to us, and so this is what I can tell you for now until we are able to get more information from some of our delegates or people coming in. We want to assure our viewers that we would continue to ensure that we bring them up to speed happenings around this particular polling area. And so we from the Upper East region here, yes, so I would be wrapping up, and I will be wrapping up. But you are an agent. Are you an agent? Yes. So you tell me quickly, which candidate?
Bawumia.
Yeah, for Bawumia. And are you sure of victory for today?
I'm very, very sure. Very sure.
Okay.
We will carry the day.
Okay. All right. Okay, so yes, over to you, Winifred, in the studio. You heard some of our delegates here and the people in the Upper East region here, to be specific, Nabdam district or Nabdam constituency, where the exercise is currently ongoing. Over to you in the studio.
Good job to you, Peter Agengwe, splitting himself between two centers in that part of the country. He's our man on the ground, and he's already established his presence for us. He's going to give us every information we need to know in the Upper East region. Already he's told us that 8,112 delegates are expected to cast their ballot. Voting has already begun and people have already exercised their franchise. Peter, thank you so much. We'll connect with you as and when you have any other update to give us. We have Samuel Ayama in the Bunu East region, specifically in Techiman. Samuel, thank you so much for joining us. Has voting started? Is there anything you want to report to us now? Before we do Samuel Ayama, let's go to the Central region. Kingsley Nana Buedu. Kingsley, thank you so much for joining us. I can see behind you, voting has already started.
Well, exactly so. Voting has already started. And what it is that where I am around Abra Dunkwao. And Abra Dunkwao is where I am reporting from. But I have already been to Cape Coast North, where voting had also already begun. And as at the time I was living there, I can say that about 15 people had voted. That was early in the morning. I can say that when you go to Ansah Central, Honorable candidate Japon had already also cast his vote. He again granted some interview, and all what he was saying is that he seems to be okay with the arrangement and the plan so far and the way the processes are going on. He was only of the hope that it continue until the end of it before perhaps if there's anything to say. And it has been that beautiful. As I speak with you, I am just at Abra Dunkwao, like I indicated, where 825 people are voting. I can say that about 35 or more, or over 300 people have already cast their vote, and the voting is going smoothly. In the Central region, I can confidently say that the processes are going on smoothly. The exercise began early enough as scheduled, and things are going pretty well, like you know. By way of information, I would say that in the Central region, there are 18,125 people who are expected to vote in, of course, 28 polling stations or constituencies. For us, our constituencies are 23, but we are told that they have added additional making 28. What is it that when you go to we are told that those constituencies have been divided. So we have the same applies to and of course that is what is making the polling stations 28 instead of the 25 constituencies that we have. So basically that is it. I am heading to Ansah Central where Kennedy had already cast his vote. But yesterday, that was last night, we are told there was a vigil that his supporters held a vigil in support of Kennedy and praying that Honorable Kennedy wins. I will be talking to some of the Council of Elders who are here at Abra Dunkwao to tell us exactly how he is seeing the process. Sir, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Or morning.
Good morning, rather.
May I know your name, please?
My name is Ansah.
All right.
Chairman of Council of Elders.
All right. So tell us, how has the process been so far?
Oh, the process is going on smoothly. Not really disturbances. Everything is going on the normal.
No, okay. So as a Council of Elders, how many of you are here present? Your names?
The names, they come and vote, they go away. So we can't tell you these are the numbers I said.
Okay.
Those who have come to vote. Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. So basically, that is what it is. Many people have already come. They've cast their vote. They've left. There are many also in queues, of course, waiting for their turn to cast their vote. But basically, there are a number of police officers here. Initially, some of the constituencies that we have visited, the media had a hell of time, of course, even assessing the venue for accreditation problems. But some of us managed to, of course, enter into these places. So basically, that is what is happening. The voting had already begun. It's been that successful. We've not had any issues of challenges or of any sort. So basically, that is what is happening here at Abrodunkwa.
Thank you so much, Kingsley Nana Bwedu Abrodunkwa. I hope I mentioned it well. But already he tells us that he's been to Cape Coast North and Asin Central, where Kennedy Japan has already cast his ballot. That polling station looks like a very entertaining place because I can hear singing, drumming, and dancing there. I don't know whether it is allowed as part of the NPP's guidelines, but hey, I mean, we need to.
Entertainment is always a good idea.
We need to make some merry.
I want to see who is doing the drumming,
who even organized it,
and the clap. Those who are clapping in the background. I think it's well, but it will be a long day, so it's good to find a way. Right. We are having coffee. You're having tea. You're having water. So they are singing.
All right. For the Central Region, we have
Sherry Ayokobotwe, who is the Minister for Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, come to cast her ballot already. We've seen the likes of Bugri Nabu coming to vote at this particular center. There are some 463 persons who are expected to cast their ballot here at this particular center. And so we await the arrival of the Vice President, who himself will be voting at this particular polling center. The President of the land, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa will also be voting here. And so we are getting indications that anytime soon the Vice President may make his way to the NPP headquarters to cast his ballot. And so a lot of the delegates who have voted here, a lot of them ministers, a lot of them members of parliament, have openly declared their support for Dr. Bawumia, even though the chairman of the party, Mr. Stephen Tim, has said that does not conform with the rules and regulations of this particular elections. We've seen a lot of them, the ministers and the MPs, openly tell us who they voted for in this particular election. So we are still here at the party headquarters, as and when we get the signal that the Vice President is making his way to this arena. We'll bring you those pictures, and also when the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, also touches down. You want to stay with us?
Thank you so much, Maurice Ogbete from the NPP headquarters. We are still waiting for the arrival of the President and Akufo-Addo to also go and exercise his franchise. We are told that people are not to show who they vote for, but people are already openly declaring who they vote for. So as time goes on, we'll be engaging with some party officials to know whether there are some gray areas in that guidelines that the party issued. But before that, let's go to Samuel Ayama in the Bono East region, specifically in Techiman, to also give us an update of what is happening in that part of the country. Samuel, thank you so much for joining us. Already we are establishing that voting has started across the country. Is this same in the Bono East region, Techiman, where you are? Are there any issues you want to report? Tell us what you have.
Underway in all the 11 voting centers across the Bono East region, with the exception of Techiman South, because of the numbers here, over 1,000, they have one center per two booths. That is what is happening here in the Techiman municipality. But when you move to the other centers, they all have one voting center with one booth. And according to the leadership of the party, per their rules, when the numbers are more than 1,000, there should be one voting center. But 2 or 3 bush so that they can contain the numbers. So currently, everything is under control here in the Bono East region. When you move around, realize that the security situation has been very, very encouraging, especially in the Sekiman South here during the 26th August elections. There were 1 or 2 misunderstandings and some clashes here. So I'm sure the security, they have taken that as a lesson. And as we speak, they've strengthened the whole security situation here. And we don't have any issue as we speak. The eastern part, which is the Atebo-Buamantin constituency, the Senate, East, Kajeji, West, Kwabena, so Pro East, Yeji, and then Pro West, Prime. I've gathered that the elections are going on there, and they've not encountered any issue. So as we speak, everything is under control here in the Bono East region.
Samuel, do delegates still have their phones with them?
Yes, they have their phones with them. And another interesting thing happening here is that even though campaigns shouldn't have been going on, but at the gate, the entrance, the name you hear, go and vote for Vice President Dr. Bawumia. And then it is not something they are hiding. They are not hiding where they are voting, who they are voting for. You hear a lot of commentaries around, and like people have even been stationed at some designated points doing some campaign. And I don't know whether it's part of the rule or that is the new norm, but it is not anything new here, because they have all been doing their own campaign, even though the election is currently ongoing. And we had contacted 1 or 2 of the leadership, but they told me they cannot do anything about it. So that is what is happening here in Techiman, and I've also gathered that even the other centers, same thing is happening.
I am asking what the other agents have to say about these developments. Of course, they are rooting for Bawumia. What are the others saying?
The others are not saying anything, because for the some of them told me, though they are not happy, but they can't talk because the powers or the authority, the political heads in the region are all rooting for Vice President Bawumia, so they cannot also say anything, and like they are monitoring closely to see what happens at the end of the day, because we just had an interview with the MP for Techimai South, who is the Deputy Minister for Local Government, Mr. Martin Ajemen-Sakosa, and he is also rooting for Dr. Bawumia.
All right, Samuel.
His Excellency Bawumia is making his way to the party headquarters to cast his ballot. As you can see, the place has been cleared. Every camera, every media person has been asked to step aside for the arrival of the Vice President. So we see the car arrive here at the party headquarters. That was Nana B, the national organizer of the MPP, passing by, and so that's the Vice President vehicle touching down at the party headquarters. He has been tipped to win this particular elections. All the polls suggest so. A lot of the delegates who have been casting their ballots here have openly declared support for the Vice President, Dr. Bawumia, who has been the chairman of the economic management team of the Republic of Ghana since 2017. And so that's, in a short, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Dr. Bawumia. Doc, are you confident of winning this election?
Election will be winning.
What will be the margin you expect, sir?
The margin they give me, I think I would wait. I would not predict. Thank you very much.
So that was the Vice President, Dr. Bawumia, who is very much confident of winning these elections. He says he can't tell us exactly what margin of victory he expects in this particular election. It will be what the delegates decide to give him after close of poll at 2 p.m. And so that's Vice President Dr. Bawumia for you. He's an economist, very much with specialities in macroeconomics. He has a PhD in economics, attended Tamale Secondary School, and then went to the UK, did a diploma in economics, had a master's in economics. He's had a brush with banking, deputy governor of the central bank. He was very much integral in the redenomination of the city. He's been very much integral in the digitalization agenda of this particular country. He touts himself as the arrowhead for the mobile money interoperability, which has allowed the cross-sending of money between networks. So here he is at the party headquarters to cast his ballot. We are monitoring every step of the process. Let's speak to Mr. Fred Owari. He's a member of the campaign team of the Bawumia campaign team.
We are so Edinburgh so. Into a bonfire say to Kwabena NC baby no be abeto na about to abewia no watcho ho. Emre no so no mo kan wia e de beto abontim obi ate.
Yenim say when I would campaign animuma eye Bawumia. What expectation and in terms of percentage anything?
Me hwe edwuma yayo ene ne party for no ankasa e ka dia say ye be fa no bebre ebe ya fa no fom kra wie ebe ti se ne eyi foforo ba ko na etu ye no sa pepepe na we su ebe kosuru kra ebe kosuru kakra.
Testing the pulse of the nation and go for say Dr. Muhammad Bawumia the establishment candidate nemo muyi ni wi adodo no apeke na Japan e dey na aka fa
enya no kra so uti Ghana hanko dia ka obeti say after the court case for 2013 no and a man for started say omuboje Bawumia so on pese odi nanado ade du mre bi no na uni Bawumia ni nanado kura ko bebi a eye ye boji Bawumia so ache eyi nanado kura nti nimre na aso.
Let me speak to Mr. Edri Blankson, former mayor of the Accra metropolitan area. Mr. Edri Blankson, good morning and welcome to GTV. What are your expectations after polls today?
That much I don't know. To be honest with you, I came purposely to vote. I've voted, so we should all wait and see the reaction.
Are you in support of Dr. Bawumia?
No, I'm not supporting anything. I am only supporting my thumb. Okay. That's all.
So who do you expect to win by close?
My wish is there should be peace. That's all. There should be peace. I don't have a favorite candidate. I don't. I'm a senior man.
A lot of the voters here have declared their support for Bawumia, even though it is against the rules governing this particular elections. What will you say to that?
I wasn't part of those who conducted this. I wasn't part of them. Huh?
So quickly, let's speak to Mr. Fred Owari. He's a member of the campaign team of Dr. Bobie.
Mathematical fever.
Mr. Owari, what has been the message of Dr. Bawumia to the delegate?
The message ni tia ninipa oyo. Ni oba party ni awayama party. Si yatumano no oba beye flag bearer. Enshishe fufra ode beba party mu ema hoɔden aba mu a grassroots ni managers of the party no be any ebeji. Yen pe eyi flag bearer keke and as a leader of the party keke ye pe president so a obedi o man nim tin message no so o kire nneoma oba obeye ma o man no mu aye mre ama obia.
So after that that was a message to the delegate. There will be a new message to the people of Ghana. What would that
I don't moment except people of Ghana no so obe enye party nko a eye o man ni nyina nti obe kire ne oba obeye any policies are odibeba.
That's Mr. Fred Owari, He is a member of the Bawumia campaign team.
Wait a minute, I may predict it, but we'll see what happens. But with voting, you have to wait for the counting to be done.
It's a better declaration on now why in flag bearer in there.
Any day when you miss him, me bomb pie say, me that's say.
So that was Vice President. Dr. The NDC has said you are not their headache, as you have said. All right, okay. That's Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Dr. Bawumia. He just cast his ballot together with his wife, Samira Bawumia. They'll move to the party headquarters building. We are still here at the MPP headquarters at Asalam Down. The Vice President, Dr. Bawumia, not too long ago cast his ballot, certainly voting for himself. He's very much confident that he will emerge victor of this particular election, but he won't tell us the margin of votes that he expects. Let's speak to Mr. Asama Boateng, former Minister for Information under the Kufuor administration.
I don't know what to know, but it shows a very nice day. It's going to be a peaceful and enjoyable day. I'm a secret ballot, but
Why are you here to support the Vice President?
But I say,
why are you all here to support the Vice President?
I came to vote.
Okay.
I came to vote. I was in queue.
A lot of the delegates have declared support for the Vice President. Who is your candidate?
Yes, sir.
Who is your candidate?
I wouldn't disclose it to you, but my candidate will win. My candidate will win by over 75%.
Over 75%.
What do you make of the process so far?
Not only obviously 2024. Apart from the bad DMM, you can't win the election.
Oh, me GD say will be winning. But me say me can't
So that was Asama Boateng, the former Minister for Information under the Kufuor administration. Let's quickly speak to Anthony Abeifa Kabo. He's also a member of the Bawumia campaign team.
Capture political power, and you must do everything in your power to ensure that you keep your flock together so you can capture political power.
Going forward, will the party still remain with this decision that all aspirants will sign and are taken? This is the first time happening.
No, this is not the first time. It happened.
According to the chairman of the committee.
No, this is not the first time. We did it when I was national youth organizer of the party. The elections that brought a Kufuor, that was part of it. It's just been reviewed.
Some political analysts believe that among the 4 candidates that you presented, none of them actually stands at all against the NDC's John Dramani Mahama. How do you respond to this? How do you respond to this?
You said some political analysts believe that what?
That among the 4 candidates, including the Vice President, your candidate, that you cannot defeat the NDC's John Dramani Mahama. How do you respond to that?
What is the basis of that analysis? Did you question the basis of that analysis, or you just took it hook, line, and sinker?
He says that.
Yes.
One of them says that is Professor Kwabena. He says that since 1992, amongst the candidates that have been presented or aspired to be the party's flag bearer since 1992, and you know the history, I need not tell you, that this current system or this current candidates do not match up to what the party started with in 1992-95.
But that's a wrong premise. That's a wrong premise. These elections we're having in 2024 is a different kettle of fish. We have a former president who is contesting. It's unique. We've never had that before. Have we? Since 92. Have you had a former president coming back? We've not. This is the first time in the MPP that a vice president is eventually going to be its flag bearer. So 2024 is a completely different kettle of fish. It's not a regular election. It's an election we've never had before, and we are on uncharted grounds. So for any political analyst to whet your sword, I think you need to put out the variables and the facts together so that people can...
The chairman of the party has said it goes against the regulations if you vote and then you declare who you voted for. But we've seen a lot of the MPs and ministers do same here.
No, I think it is not right. It's condemnable. It is against even the electoral laws of Ghana. Forget the MPP as a subsidiary. But the electoral laws of Ghana doesn't allow you to do that. So any citizen with your civic responsibilities, you must uphold the constitution of the country. So it's important. I think that is very clear. Should have no doubts about that. Yes. Yes.
Under the economic management team of this country.
Yes.
And the analysts say that these three individuals have contributed.
Oh, my brother, don't worry. Don't go far. Don't go far. John Mahama was head of economic management team. He went ahead to win 2012 elections. True or false? Did these analysts add that to the variables in the analysis? So you see how lopsided sometimes these analyses could get. Because there are issues. And if we have to open up the issues, we are prepared to open all the issues up. So it would be wrong for anybody to assume that the fact that the head of economic management team is not new. The head of economic management team was Atta Mills. He came back to win elections in Ghana.
But the situation in 2012,
every election is different. No one election is the same. 1992 election was different, 96 was different, 2000 was different, 2004 was different, 2008 will be... 2028 is a different kettle of fish.
But the economic books is not good for your party.
But just recently, you had Fitch upgrading Ghana. Did it happen out of the moon?
That's because the IMF is in town.
Yeah, but it didn't happen out of the moon. It will take a government's decision. It will take some thinking. It will take some action to be able to bring the upgrade of Ghana so that we can compete in the global market. So that's what is happening.
The first time we had to go to the IMF, but we had to do so doing we have to do so doing a debt restructuring. It's never happened in history.
Have we had a situation where, the world has been ravaged with COVID? Over the last 100 years, we've never seen any devastation that has brought great economies to their knees. Is it new?
Other African countries go to the IMF without doing a debt restructuring. It means that the Ghanaian situation is dire.
Really? But with the kind of things that we have done in our country, can you compare those African countries to what we have here? Do they have free education? Do they have free education? These are questions I'm asking you. They don't. They don't have the things that we have put in place here. We had a situation where for 1 year, Ghanaians were paid, were drawing water for free. They were not paying for it.
We are not paying for it through the COVID fund.
1 year, were you?
But we are paying for it now.
And I'm saying, but the economy is recovering. Post-COVID, there must be a recovery. Which country will not recover? Right? You need to recover. And the post-recovery measures are some of the measures that you are seeing. So it would be wrong entirely for people to say that some countries have been to the IMF without a debt restructuring. Jamaica has just come out of the debt restructuring. True or false? Is it not a country? They were distressed. But the kind of monumental infrastructure that we have put in place here, the kind of policies that we have put in place here, not a single one of our social intervention policies have been hindered, irrespective of the debt.
The Bamia situation is different because into the 2016 elections, into the 2020 elections, he made us believe that he had what it takes to turn this economy around.
Are you an economics student?
I follow economics. I'm not an
but there is something in economics that says that, when all things held equal, when all conditions are set, what does that mean?
But he has criticized a government at a point before.
Yeah, but those government didn't have to deal with
when there was doomsaw.
Yes, but those government didn't have to deal with the crisis that we are dealing with. And since we came in, have you had doomsaw in this country? Even in the face of the economic situation, have you seen doomsaw in this country? It should tell you that some people are thinking. That's why we are not in that situation. Everything that we have said to the previous government, we are dealing with.
Doomsaw was very much addressed by the previous.
Do you believe that?
I know so.
Doomsaw didn't end with that.
I know so.
It didn't happen. On what basis was it dealt with?
A lot has been done to.
What was the fundamental?
By 2016, Doomsaw was no longer with us.
Are you sure?
Of course. By the close of 2016.
Are you sure?
Very much.
Are you sure?
Very much.
That's not true.
Very much.
But that's not true. That's not true.
When did Doomsaw end in this?
That is not true.
When did Doomsaw end in this country?
Doomsaw was nothing but a financial issue.
Interesting reaction. Niabe Ifakabo and Maurice Ogbete. I'm sure it has also generated some sort of discussions in your home. Interesting.
I wanted to hear more.
Right, interesting one. They will go back to them and have more of that. But earlier, Kinsley and Abuedu made us aware that Kennedy Japan had gone to cast his ballot.
Okay.
We didn't get that feed, but we have it now. So we have a playback of when Mr. Kennedy Japan arrived at the polling station. Let's go. He also spoke with the media. Let's go and listen to what he said. We will be back. And then come down south and connect with Humu in Dom Kwabena.
Bodyguard. This thing accompany owner.
You know, I'm always for peace. So what I'm seeing here, if it will happen everywhere, the election will indeed be peaceful. I see many police officers here. So far, so good. But it's very early to, describe it so far, so bad. As for Asin Central, we are always disciplined. We're going to be disciplined and make sure we follow the rules to the letter.
All right, so before the election, you had some issues concerning unfairness and all of that. And then just yesterday, you had a special meeting with all those who matter in the party.
The assurance is there. So all I'll say is let's wait till after the close of the polls. Then we'll see. But so far, with what I've seen here, I hope it will be everywhere. Then the process, if I win, yes. If I don't, yes, I'll still be a party and I'll congratulate the winner. So I don't have a problem. I'm just waiting patiently, to see the outcome of the election. All I don't want is violence. You see everybody going in orderly. Vote. That is all I expect everywhere. So my only challenge is, those who take the law into their own hands and think they are above the law.
All right, so that was Kennedy Japan there earlier when he went out there to cast his ballot and spoke to the media about the entire exercise going on, which is to elect a flag bearer for the new patriotic party. Let's take you over to Dom Kwabena to talk to Humu, who is standing by. Humu, good morning to you, and what can you report for us?
And voting is taking place at the basketball park near the Atomic Police Station. This is the largest constituency in the country, and it is also considered as a stronghold of the NPP. This particular party has always managed to pull around 60% in terms of votes during any general elections. At this particular polling station, voting is supposed to be starting around 7 and ending around 2 before counting. Almost 1,803 delegates are supposed to cast their votes. As at now, about 400 people have voted. Unfortunately, there are long queues here, and the complaints of the delegates are that the process is quite slow. They were expecting more queues, but unfortunately, there are only 2 queues here, and 5 people are taken at each particular time. This is probably one of the constituencies that would determine how the voting will go in the general elections. All the candidates are supposed to have 2 representatives, but unfortunately we have only the 2 top candidates. That is the Vice President Mahamudu Bawumia and Mr. Kennedy Japan, who have their representatives here. The other 2 do not have their representatives here. We are just joined by the National Youth Wing Administrator, Mr. Prince Sadat. He cast his vote some few minutes ago, and he's going to talk to us about preparations made by the party in terms of voting in this particular constituency. Prince, you voted. You've also seen how things are going. Unfortunately, the process is quite slow. Why is it that?
Like you said, Dome Kwabena is the largest constituency in the country, and we have nearly over 1,800 people voting at this center. Fortunately for us, we have 2 polling stations here. So the polling stations have been divided into 2, even though it is 1 constituency. So we are pleading that the people in the queue should rather exercise decorum and vote in turns. I believe that by 2 o'clock, the queue would be cleared and we would have a good candidate winning for us today.
We have heard that the EC recommended there be at least 4 queues here. Why did the party stick with the 2 queues when you know exactly your numbers are huge here?
Largely, it's the EC that is running the election. If you look at the polling officers and everything about the election, is the Electoral Commission. That is their mandate. So they advise the party, and then you see Ghana police too have taken control over here. You can see the process is going on very smoothly, and we believe that at the end of the day, the best candidate will win.
I know the party is looking forward to breaking the 8th coming next year, and we also know that this particular constituency, especially your MP, has been in the news recently. As your delegates are voting, what will influence them to pick a particular candidate over the rest?
Like you said, the target of the party is not just to conduct a primary. The target of the party is for us to break the 8th. For us to send His Excellency, former President Mahama, to perpetual opposition. That is the target of the party. So we are looking at a candidate that will be able to represent the party well and help us achieve that. I can say on authority that all the 4 aspirants, each of them would give Mahama a good run for their money. But then we are looking at a candidate that will make our work simpler and easier. And that candidate is no other person than the Vice President, His Excellency Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. I just casted my vote for him, and I believe at the end of the day, he's going to win the primary and give Mahama a very tough one going into 2024. And inshallah, he'll be declared the President of Ghana in December 2024, and then he'll be sworn in January 2025.
Finally, you are the youth wing administrator of the party, and I know a few days ago the candidates were made to sign an agreement, sort of, that they are ready to work behind whoever is going to win. And you have already said from your party leadership that unity is important if you are going to get the needed victory in 2024. As a youth administrator, what processes or strategies have you put in place to ensure that at the end of the day, the youth are still united behind the winning candidate?
That's fine. As a national youth wing, we have embarked on a lot of programs this year alone. For the first time in history, the youth wing has gone around the entire country to touch base with our youth wings, from constituency to constituency. And the program that we have for next year, it will marvel you. And we are fortunate that if the Vice President is elected, he's a grassroots campaigner. He goes to people to campaign, not the other way, like organizing debates and meeting them. No, you come to your doorstep. So, I believe that for the first time, you have a sitting Vice President coming to knock on your door to solicit for your vote. That is the man we believe in, and we believe that he will surely take us to break the 8 next year.
You keep mentioning the Vice President. Finally, before you go, you keep mentioning the Vice President, but we've been told that leadership have agreed that nobody should openly disclose their support for any candidate. Why are you mentioning him, and are you trying to influence the delegates in this constituency to vote for him?
Not at all. I'm a polling station chairman here. I have about 19 people that are working under me in my polling station, because we have 4 polling stations that we control here. Yes, you have said that unity is key, but beyond unity, we are looking at someone that will make our work easy as party people. We have gone on the ground, we've listened to the people, and everybody that we talk to, they mention Vice President name. So it's not the way that we are imposing a candidate for the party. That is not the case. We are rather implementing the choice of the grassroots, the people at the base. They are saying that bring us Vice President and we'll make him the President of Ghana.
Thank you very much, Prince. That was Prince Sadat. He's the youth wing administrator of the new Patriotic Party nationwide. Here at Kwabena, where voting is taking place. Voting is supposed to end at 2 p.m. when counting begins. Unfortunately, we are what voting really And luckily for us, one of the delegates there.
Then I have a quick comment to make.
Okay. We just have the NPP National Election Chairman who just cast his vote, Professor Michael Quinn.
I'm going to headquarters.
Most definitely.
And of course, I live here.
Most definitely. Most definitely. He is a former MP. That is the former Speaker of Parliament. He's the chairman of the New Patriotic Election Committee. You have just come here. What have you observed so far?
Oh, everything is very, very orderly. The sun is high, but you can see that people are gently in the line. There's no difficulty at all. This is a sign of a civilized people, and I'm very proud of them. But of course, that's my constituency.
There are concerns that the process is quite slow. There are long queues with over 1,800 delegates. What's happening?
It's unfortunate. We realized this, and so we created 2 extra stations as a second thought. But you see, we are told that some candidates didn't want it to happen. And without the candidates having agreed, nothing is done. So I'm very, very sorry that this line is here at the moment. But it will be well.
Okay. Do you expect voting to end at 2 p.m. with the long queues?
Oh, if the voting doesn't end at 2 p.m., of course, we all know the law on the voting. Anybody who is already in the queue will vote. So it may only take us too long, but it doesn't matter.
As a chairman of the election committee, what do you want to tell delegates here as they come in here to cast their vote?
Oh, all I'll tell the delegates is that they've taken the trouble to come. They've taken the trouble to stand in the sun. They are showing that they are serious citizens. And for that matter, they must be patient about everything, and that they must just vote for their choice and go home or be around to listen to the winner.
What is the limit for media? Because we are not being allowed to seek the information with all the accreditation that we provided.
What kind of information do you want?
So the number of people who have voted so far.
Oh, no, but you see, when a person is in the process of processing people and the line is so long, how do you stop and then give information? So take your time, you will get it. And that is why we actually invited the media in their numbers and gave you accreditation. And it is a very, very, very good step we've taken, because we don't want anything to be secret. Everybody must see everything. Everybody must record everything. Everybody must take any picture that he likes, because we are an open society. But you know, you cannot also sort of disrupt the process. Let me explain. You want to ask how many people have voted so far. The person must go through the records to tell you. But the person is at the same time busy applying indelible ink. So take your time. You will get what you want. In fact, the important thing is for you to make your own observations. Observe what is happening.
Basically, we've realized that there's a little bit difference in terms of security. We've seen that the delegates are being scanned before they go to cast their votes. What necessitated that?
We want, people say people take their phones and take pictures so that they go and sell their votes. Fine. So we have to make sure that that doesn't happen, isn't it? And for that matter, there must be more scanning of people. If you see a phone, the police will seize it. Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That was Professor Michael Quay. That's the former Speaker of Parliament, and that's the chairman of the NPP Election Committee. He was just speaking to us briefly about how the process is going. We just have. You're going to add your daddy. Just a second. We have. Is it? We have. Who is he? That's a we just have one. The former ambassador to India, Professor Michael Quay Jr., who is just coming in. Mr. Mike Quay Jr., who is just His Excellency Michael Quay Jr., who is just joining us briefly to tell us more about the elections here, you are just coming in. Are you a delegate?
Yes, I am a delegate, and I'm here with my fellow polling station people from Hatumain, and we're here to vote. So we met in my house. We've come together to come and vote. So
We just want to know briefly what is going to influence you into picking a particular candidate to represent the party in the general elections.
Oh, that is why I thought we have something called secret ballot. So I think we're not allowed to do
Not one person. I mean, what will influence your decision? What will make you pick a candidate, a particular candidate?
Oh, I mean, the person must be fit for the job. And so that's the criteria that I'll use to do that.
Yeah. Thank you very much. That's the former ambassador to India, Mr. Michael Quay Jr., who is sharing pleasantries with his father, who has just come to monitor activities here. So from here, Kwabena, we'll move straight to Amasaman, and then we'll bring you report on how voting is going on over there. Security is in place here. We don't really have actual numbers of personnel here for security reasons, but we're still here voting a bit slow but ongoing, and at 2 p.m. we'll come back to see whether the 1,800
Abdullah, who reached out from Kwabena, and you saw the chairman of the Presidential Election Committee, former Speaker of Parliament too, Professor Michael Quay there. I also saw his son, Michael Quay Jr., who's former ambassador to India, and now the Chief Executive Officer to the Free Zones Board. If you're just joining us, this is our coverage of the NPP presidential primaries that is coming up today. As we speak, November 4, everything is supposed to come to an end in terms of the voting at 2 p.m. and after which we'll move straight into counting, and then by close of day today, hopefully, I will not go deep into the night as usual when we have elections of such states. To get to know exactly who is going to lead the New Patriotic Party come 2024 general elections. We know who is leading the NDC. The NPP is yet to decide, and other political parties are also yet to decide who is going to take them into the general elections next year, 2024. But briefly, I mean, what do you make of the entire exercise from the day it started with nominations here and there, special delegates, and now to this particular one?
So far, so good. I mean, today is the final clarion call.
So far, so good. Reminds me of a song.
Of what? Tell me. What song is that?
No, so far, so good.
Oh, come on.
Don't mind me.
Right, so today will be the final clarion call. Already we are hearing people declaring for who they want to support, even though the guidelines tells us it's not to be so. I believe that there is some gray areas that the party needs to address going forward, probably in the 2024 elections, because if you tell us you are not supposed to show who you voted for, but as soon as I finish voting, I can come out and then come and say who I voted for. I believe there is some kind of address they need to do there. But we are being told that this is a two-horse race between Kennedy Japan and Dr. Bawumia. It also remains to be seen whether it's going to be so, especially because polls that have been made already seems to suggest that it's going to be a fate of destiny for Dr. Bawumia. Is it going to be so? I keep saying that this is a party that we got the term fear delegates. Is it going to be so? At 2 p.m., is it going to be so? But also, if we should put polling stations such as which Humu just reported from, look at the numbers. Professor Michael Quay is telling us that already they had decided to split the polling station into two, but delegates had refused. I have a problem there because delegates do not decide where they vote. If the party had realized that there was going to be congestion at a particular polling station, and so they needed to split the polling station into two, then there should have been, there should have been some, amendments in there to prevent the number of people, converging there. And I'm wondering where Humo is Kwabena, whether at 2 o'clock we are going to finish.
Well, the regulation says, and voting also says that if
by the time of closing
right.
polls,
If whoever is in the queue is allowed to vote.
Finish up with the
Yeah.
entire exercise. So at least if you're in the queue and it's
course.
2 and you've not actually voted yet, at least you'll be allowed to vote.
But that can
for
also
that
make
entire
up for other polling stations that do not have a lot of numbers. They can finish earlier. And so maybe probably we'll just have to wait for the others to wrap up.
What do you also make the entire process so far?
So the entire process so far today, or the
from
the days leading up
days
to.
leading
So
up to and what is happening now.
The NDC monitoring what's been happening in the NPP is interesting. When you engage officials from the ruling party and then the largest opposition, the NDC, you get very varying, thoughts about how the country has been run, the economy, for example, and then the chances of all these two. Yes, Winifred, you mentioned the thoughts that this is, most likely between
the two,
the vice president and the polls that have been released ahead of this November 4 election have proven quite interesting. The fact that I was told by one of the geopoll analysts that the current president, His Excellency's popularity or otherwise, will be telling on the perceived preferred candidate for him, which is Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia.
Even though he has not even, has the president mentioned Dr. Bawumia as the one he prefers?
That's why I say
the
assumed preferred candidate for the president is to be is presumably Dr. Bawumia.
That's
so his popularity
All
would
right.
be telling on.
Let's hold on for me. Let's go to Tema and then talk to our correspondent Michael Dewonu, who is standing by for us. Michael, good morning to you, and let's hear you.
Yeah, good morning to you, George, and thank you so much for having me on the show.
Share with us at where you're located this morning at Tema East.
Exactly. So we are here at Tema East Constituency. Specifically, we are at the Trediase Park where the elections is ongoing. The numbers are really huge when you look behind me, and it is really understandable because here in Tema, it's not score less than 50%, except in 2012 where they had 48.4%. And so you can understand we are talking about a delegate of 1,200 delegates alone in Tema East. In Tema Central, I am also told that they are it's running around 1,000 for Tema West is also 1,000 for thereabouts. And so Tema is an MPP stronghold, and over the years they have enjoyed this thing to the seat where the NDC took the seat from Titus Glover. And so that has been the dynamics when we come to Tema and MPP election. And so the delegates, the numbers we are seeing here, it's not surprising at all. Over 1,000. So what is happening is that they've been grouped in electoral areas. And so the various electoral areas are being called in badges in numbers of 5. And so you would see Newtown electoral area, you will see Bankuma electoral area, you see, so they are just in, before you go into the voting center. That is how the process is being. So we will try and get into the voting center and also speak with party officials and see how the process is being. Let me tell you that security have been very, very, very tough, and it's been a top notch here. Quite a number of security personnel have been deployed, and they are making sure that everything is in order. The district, the municipal chief executive have also come through, and he's also cast his vote already. We would be finding out from them, and also find out from party officials how the process has been so far, and also how the process is being. Honorable, thank you so much for joining us. You are live on GTV, and so far the process has been moving.
So far, it's been smooth. So far, so.
Yeah. We know about the dominance of the NPP here in determining the seat was taken from you. How are you building this whole process and making sure that the party comes back stronger and stronger? I know you are standing for the seat in the Tema East to contest with the current Ashai Odamtin who is holding the seat currently. How are you building this whole process to make sure that?
Well, so if you look at today, if you look at the elections carefully, we in Tema East, we are actually very united now. Most of us are united. That's how come I came on unopposed. It tells you that we have resolved to win our seat back. So this particular primary is speaking to everybody. And everybody should have its own right of choosing who the preferred candidate is without any fear, without intimidation. And so far, Tamais has been good. We've not had any case of anybody being intimidated whatsoever. Who are casting their votes without fear, without intimidation. And I believe strongly will come out as one big united FM party in Tema East than never after this primary is over.
Yeah, looking at the numbers I can see over there, are we sure that by 2 o'clock everybody will...
Sure. It's just 11 o'clock. It's not to 11 o'clock now. And then and it's moving quite fast.
Okay.
So we believe strongly that everybody could cast his or her vote before 2 p.m. today.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much, Honorable, and we wish you all the best in all the process. Yeah. So we also want to get closer to the chairman, the constituency secretary, to also tell us how the process has been so far, and also what their anticipation is with regards. How has the process been so far with regards to the numbers we are seeing, and in terms of the process, how it's moving, how will you start?
Okay. That would have made the process more faster and a bit swift. But the way everything is mixed up is making the whole process a little bit challenging. Because in 2010, by 12 o'clock, we were done.
Oh, okay.
In 2014, I think by 11:30 here, so we were done. And in subsequent elections, we will not opt for this particular polling center because of the inconvenience it has created.
Oh, okay.
The party were not.
Aspirant no as ma the nana mame MPP constitution.
Okay.
Article 6, polling station organization. There shall be a polling station executive of 5 members: chairperson, secretary, organizer, youth organizer, and women organizer, whose duty shall be to act as polling agents when appropriate. In the election, but one more has 193 omo na eyi ekoye polling agent we ye polling 2 ne ye polling agent no na 3 na aka no e de na mafiafiem e frame mo mbeto aba responsible for house to house campaigns. Omo adwuma no what was the minister here as campaign we no adwuma omo na mo ye every day to act as agent during voter registration and cleaning of the voters register, to perform any other function that will be assigned them by a constituency officer. But they are not qualified to be DCs. We are not qualified to be MPs, ministers. Until I said that branding or a grassroots. No,
grassroots executive.
Grassroots executive. Oh, nothing. No, who fin? Almost breasting here. With this category, they suffer more than that. But they are the least respected. They are the least respected. I see. You see, most of the people who are holding positions in this government, one fahada. He doesn't feel the pain away anymore. They don't even know we know. Among fire 20 or more, saying ministers in 28. Going to how many of them? The only two about we do the same. Delegate for Council of Ed. But me will question foundation members. So
50 no. So do na
Foundation members.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They should be the ones living.
They cannot be 50.
Why can't they be?
Omunyinewu aka kakrape. Omunyinewu aka handful pe.
Someone would they can vote.
So why would you keep their names in the register?
If you have their names there, it means that they are living. Say now you can say now see be with the then.
Oh, come on. Being shelter voters na come you know.
Okay.
Fa otikura the Ansah. Can you see no mudin wa electoral commission ye throw omudin wa ho ye mo register party no mudin ho majority are gone. They are gone. How do you have 50? I will look for these names because I want to vet it. I am doubting the 50. One account.
Foundation.
No more signature. You can be a foundation member, but with signature, any electoral commissioner, any person with Dimaha. Let's begin to interrogate Sir Adewi. I say, but Obi check 400, Obi check 300. Now, say who check 400 Ghana cedis by 207 to 835 delegates are and yes, capital. My producers Mbo Mati MPs in the MMDs my year mafim.
Okay.
And my ministers and deputies no afim. Me tifi moi, me tifi 208,261 ni moi. Menya 207,835. And this will be 300 per delegate. Would you multiply our number was he can send echo?
I say we MPs.
Okay. Okay.
No. And I'm my MPs anyway, my friend MP be an ebejiska.
Me call Elisha Dakwa, Ansah can be a regional minister. Ono so adura am say okwakoto na ba enti say na echo. Hello senior. Oh la no akate sis honorable Simon Semensa Asante regional minister wako center voting center hono mo a okwakoto na ba senior hono so AC echo. Okay enti say 400 crown per times say 200,000 no. Hey, ebi wo mo times 200,000 kra. Say 400 kra. Times 200,000 no. 80,000 Ghana cedis.
Oh, 80 say.
Oh, 80 million.
Oh, calculator now say
80,000. 80 million Ghana cedis. Say 400 kra. Now say 200,000 delegate kra. 80 million Ghana cedis. Oh, but now say 80 million Ghana cedis say candidate back who China say Honorable can Japan say money your brand $800 million. Hello senior, hello senior. Good morning. Yan to us. Why?
Okay, Nana Sabre the Mary Primo is here so about 20 years and Hanamo Costo Ewo State Experimental Junior High School. Now be Primo Hanamo, Latin thing and our Hanamo, Nipa, Museum Abano Delegates in a year 869. Ana omo ezo meet me aso abana hana ba hanwa enam se omo emfa enkunya wo hanamo no enno sansanin no la no wa enti bimu janla mu ne bimu so yigina wana aso enso no kanu fi omo ebetena se de ama ewianka ebo no ebetum kaka no so delegate ni company se omo amfa bi amani no ennan se omo company ansa me ba anso me ka edmeni ehwemu askwa so omo raise concern it's a honomono delegate ni bo hono kwa obujase ni dia omo ni din ni ntino na ma wontu kakra aba hono a omo so na omo entiase hono nti hono so sha nipa omo ebeto aba hono no eye 936 ana ebeto aba ewo asuka ho na tabe me hwese men ekimene Asante regional minister ekimene din komo fisa wono na ohwe security Asante ma temi nyina wona eda no na asenso no oba amanyiko no so oyo senyina won se edimo akotene nti hwese ebitmene ora Simon Osei Mensam ekimi edin komo na se no ya he se the normal esiko honorable memo kwaba edeba akresem so
Yenu
honorable enhwe wako round se no mesiko
nyame adum bibia ekoso kama inyanti ba mi bia inti basabasa bia so fa
Yes, a Bobby bit so far, no more company say delegate me to meeting in the Avon money idea. Sena wants some musical.
Mifia, me sa kofa because there's so many regional headquarters, national headquarters for and resolve. Say album no be a national buy. In what is there at the national? Say the national they buy now, then we have no other alternative. None of them.
Your boss delegates being so a company say or more about the equal commitment yet cannot cry the woman and come at Nasia, Umgate on more a young so. Sena and Shannon Sequoia man about
Oh, arrangements, you can see and two of things. We thought if you are a bit more content. But seriously speaking, what we have to say, we are not on your shita. Unless we be better or can be better, we are and you are not yet doing that. A content one key, even a coin and a crowd, and I make us if you are in one time, Kakino or Mutani Kofani. There's also almost 10 kilo Kofani and Asia. But the DDB, Abebaha, and your Janice are. But we are not fine. It's unfortunate so much. We are praying that commit my content. So more urgent one. No one come 2 police stations. That's why almost 2 police stations. Almost all numbers. We realize the 1 police station and content. So we have 2 police stations at Kodas. But it's too late to create another police station. The bus system. We want to avoid it. But the moment we want to move the delegates no more keen. One hand akofa he banakofa basabasaba. Ade we so the person endo anyimre no be bia the obewini no awini. We want unity. Me ma camp bravery from 92 ba me the experience am hu ni say enye project o ye nkwa na weni aba e contribute to ben weni aba enye osika wo na weni aba eboa ben weni aba the weni aba since 92 me ma hu e unity. Because and yes, 2000 now UP tradition now for over 30-something years. Me ma be muda anami boa. I think as a project young project ben you can want. Thank you be win. NSK president for that time even bicycle cry they go campaign you motorbike go for yes rest o ma la sa. And so because na NDC na former president Roaring, the late former president Roaring free so now NDC watch channel. You new resources in ever winning. You understand it? 2008. Professor Mills, yes, what Yari was doing a campaign, which means go baby. And so any past goons for no core prime minister, yes, me united, we love the election. Painfully, if we cry a court time by not 40,000. 40,000, government 40,000 was under region one. No, we not. Because any so no watch it. 2016. Because the Professor Mills who ya benya no fashion, ni benya former president Mahama fashion, ni benya roaring fashion. Any muya manya. And yes, the farm where we win. Breaking the 8, one major factor is here in unity. And we figure unity will win the election.
Thank you. All pray for unity, assembly of Castle delegates,
Jamaica to be honest, will be a good and Kotuna Baboko, Normasin Kofi. Santo Qua, we are saying, if you talk a point in Tokwa, your master near Jim Bro. At the end of the day, Nipa Fonina, woman in I party members are from your Kukudam. The obey part of Bewini Bian, Yakobon to Aton. You understand it? The Bewini Bian, Yakobon to Miakoton. Into your Ponya Kaya Hoa, and Fanfa to be a man. What benefit ye Benya see a Beku? Na you watch it, Yakotana opposition. If you are cotton opposition, will be the Avian Hombetono, and Benyu Bianson and Hombetono. So, me, a Shanty region there, I want MPP to be in power. The amount for Casa, Yenya, the Epemitum Zebia, Yenya more than that, and Kamepe. But Yenya, and she said this Yaba power.
NPP by my year, previous power central.
From December, every month, I'm going to do sectorial press conferences. First, no matter press conference now. Near far health kakra, near far wood kakra, near far electricity kakra, near far we both say, na young kitchen. Start here from December, help then January, near far another sector. And then you could deep with pictures, and yeah, they are no never. ye near shoot pictures no be ahe and ye be invite ye media nko media for no and ye yama omo de nanso uko jakati mu a ye be invite om bimra transport owners omumra emetie bi ye be various stakeholders no be ehun se ade na ye kan say na tie ye nya mo a nke pe be nkyerese ye yi fim pata.
Yes, Ashanti Youth for no more a year, press conference, or more Cassa, Puyas Door, may also Ashanti Mantin every said, Banish, Bosso, Bayer 5 interchanges, Astronomy, and what have you, Masha, Moya, Diacano, a similar culture.
The patrol say, oh, a dear be a baby, a shop yet. Ah, ya. Oh, the metron, the hoa, over preset, the idea as here the tour, not for your photo. NDC back from 2009. Tokola interchange. Woman are even 10 meters. Not traffic, who free channel so air call a buaka. Moving with traffic now. Tintia Honan to and such another interchange. And Sana Jane, she said the NDC Fujato home. And the difference in the baby. Miami Chrome coin from Coca-Cola. As quite interchange extension, if you Coca-Cola air call at least. Not President Kofuaji no as San Francisco development. At all, and this is 8 years. Roman Kofa loan and Yajma. Yeah, by any year, and yet, yes, I cost party loan, and yet, they say, free Coca-Cola, they could see Dumpasi Junction. Yeah, to get out to. Now they be able to do a traffic in about people. Near Statistical floor, near the so line 30. Unim say ba be fa be kwa run about. Na ba be 6,000. On have been here 12,000 leg no. Ngenya ndo. Na ya sa ko statue we are see, they say we are see no, then timi anwi, na we anwi, na fi traffic all over the route. Empe so bia wo dwin kwatira, obe stati je obe to ya, e dia ho kira ma o manfo no, obe ye no yi ahotire na fi ho. No stati foforo. Enti ufufro no kwa wa wi kura at least mean that abaku yen wagi ti ye bedo aye na affordable housing kofo bi say o ti new affordable housing ye betu de na wo afokore mampon no ije gu ho no kenya gu ti si ewie yi samanfo atoto tete wo. That is what we want. That's what we want. Enti so that be a obetima cancer no baby ayan so nchiremu no ne mfa ma yie ebi nchiremu no ba yi people understand it. They say, I son of so quaint. They say, oh, qua. So, I'm free. A woman can be a patenty. We drew a buaka, baby, a branch, I can carry still traffic a crow. But after crab, I don't the year. No, be a waton. Do you understand it? It's time I build the system. The emperor, you be thereby hospital. You have to, I'm sure, before 2024. It is beginning. But Nina be your prisoner. Nadia de Becan home, that is agenda 111. Meaning, me bomb by say, Yanti, you cry, you be best. Then you will be a friend of Med, district hospital, F5. It's me winning now. That is what we are doing. Stand here planning. And yeah, do David.
Honorable, the review can own a region security council, no, a chairman. As Sembena Council Security,
we then go someone about Kamami. Some made a men issue me directly. When you mean to me, mark me home. The over thought that me, I mean, such a question. Namin, Namin, Sa market, and there is some for you. And we don't number to my market.
Then I can appreciate
me, said Ghana for you now. About why yet to the show boss of the Abba Jojo. Namaste delegate with the Biabe Kuyi, Nasu Jaba, delegate no, and to do more for 2 years. To be any room, a Abana Wokoto, who do have been in baby out to Alpha. You na Officer Obejina Homia Kanya, which my beginner Miakai. Wow, he will be no 2 years, no coffee, and my idea here. I don't really know. Here we are. The Obey Frag Berry Bian, and someone in Yama Beye. Etia home. No NDC for also a campaign message. Let's be united, let's forge forward, let's go and win 2024 in unity.
Okay, and the Ashanti Regional Minister, Honorable Simon Semen, and Nedin Komoafa, Abatwa, Ecoso, and then I think to Chapa and Puntujumo, Chesabano, you go up more by yes, or Santimantin. To over 2 more Santimantin, Abatuano, Viviano, Coboko, Nemo, Asapa. ana mente mo ase ka say so na say delegates ni be say omo die no omo ye free a party album ni money na omo entimo ase ye ni me say din ko na say obekọ na wa correct the ko no timi aso no ma be timi akoti nti nana obasante mantemi a de ko so ni etwa mo pin.
Okay, my na ase Fonti Elisha da kwano no ogusu a oba pro ekọ centers ahodo ya abato ni bi ekoso ewo Ashanti region ne regional minister Simon Semensa na etwetwe enkomo no afa memra mabedwafo na me no mo entoaso makati na wo kasa na Elisha ebemu no to asofi ho no mamewe
na oh ka sikana na America
80 say even 200,000 delegates cry 80 million Ghana cedis
80 million and now the Kennedy
no make say delegates no 80 million Ghana cedis 400 minimum who say shada ni skedi ama wo mu a wo mu tua because Canada Japan timi ba bonten say you can say man $800 million not 80 million Ghana cedis $800 million that the best cedis mu ha you are people who are there. What is 80 million Ghana cedis for?
Eno Madiadi.
Anade.
Madiadi say Kennedy say you are promising 800 million. Or more than. One na musi yanya na your president.
And he for say yanya my president. One na he for say.
You see when yeah man on some build it or man ye ni mun kan kwa na obi a watu nu wase so me person me di o man we anim as president wo so moto a wo di ko election wo se patriotism honesty and a discipline. How honest is Kennedy when he's not ready to tell us why they're promising $800 million? Why? Kennedy a wuni mo no, or you be a ankawo modi. The Kennedy you know. Ankawo modi say as soon as see na promises means stepping down normal $800 million. Now between Kennedy and Allah, now one and a potent enough so attractive that hooping sums of bribe money no ya dear to a kind of mutuma fanasa and a modinam. Nobody is interrogating Kennedy. Nobody is willing to ask Kennedy said now somehow kind in so he so I can't say into no one person body no because so body depend now what to the dean or bet me to a court
sure
into no me modi
sure
cartoon from him. But as lazy as we are, we want to run with it. We are not looking for Kennedy to ask him questions to justify say I'm back. As soon as he share me sad brewery, now waiting me dancing and not promising me 800 million. Men step it down. Emmanuel. And I'm messing Kennedy has not been able. And Kennedy, I will say, who watches the Watchman? I'll copy videos, best who are exposed to announce. Obviously, will be a promise Kennedy 800 million. And Kabadista won 5 evidence and made 2 die. Kennedy, we with the same Kennedy, we are na say on one my MP pay $3 million in 92. No, we have.
Now MP before I can say no kure.
Me can't say no kure. It's a lie.
But second did not can. Okay, yes, one my MP.
But so we've refuted this. Even Comrade Japan refuted on several accounts. On several engagements.
No, my TESCOM PRO, my TESCOM president, my polling station secretary, my contested for regional secretary position before in MPP. It mean name. I know what I'm talking about.
3 million no. Then to 2 na so sen Kennedy Japan
na MPP ni bi anu a wo bi. Na MPP ni bi anu a what $3 million. Because the fee 92 and a bar 96. Eba. Nti check in 96 na Concordia Ventures scandal. Na you saying na 30,000 Ghana cedis. President Kufuor campaign team for to me amemata konomo alaji inusa no for saying inusa no mo ekoto motorbikes. So motorbikes no at not 92 or what $3 million. 96 can we dear manasa. And did you say okoto motors on credit? Sana mo person kache. Party a unya $3 million 92 no. Na President Kufuor be Martin Tingam sa ye one de share miva mo. Sana mo person kache. So what you want to say? Adubuan hine no mo. No miva na no mo dia campaign. Maybe sir. Na 3 million. Over 3 million. Over $3 million. No, over $3 million. Some American. I me there. See me vanitico at the same thing.
Party headquarters. Sebusion for NPP party headquarters. And then it's president and Adudanko Akufo-Addo ne braso ya ono so eto na banti. Pel, Ansah kano. Hello, Pel.
Nanama.
Okay, to Asumaye.
Yeah, President, no, the Siana also na ba ye oko. The Siano, chief of staff na ewo ha only is entry for kasa. But a piano, mami say betimi anya nia o kan kasa.
The right candidate will elect. Politics then after right candidate, it's our better for the right. Candidate, the candidate that we are looking for is a candidate that can reach out to everybody. It's a candidate that can reach out to the youth, the elderly, the disabled, us standing on our two legs. It's a candidate that has shown empathy. Naturally, is a candidate that is also knowledgeable. But I want to say that I believe in the government of Nana Addo that candidate is to be somebody who recognizes the very good work His Excellency the President has done and is going to carry on. I don't remember the candidate, Bobie, Apollo, and to me, any need that was the candidate, means a Jumano, or Jitu, not buying one, MPP are buying one, no my fear watching, or Jitu say, a buying a JP, a buying a thing you must pass it. The name is a candidate of this for Nana at the downfall of this one. Mama, one may be so Ghana. And the Uwo Ghana idea. I was so was to me, they will have the American.
Hello, Manama. Hello? Manama.
Eti, where we are?
Hey, the chief of staff here, a imam is prima, in Kanamote, or say, Wasuna Abanemo, Wasuama, Nia, Obetumia, a Jumana, President, and Akufo-Addo, Ayaneso, and a woman or Swatuma, the Papra, Obetumini, Penuponi, in Pala, Ewa, Amaimono, Eddie Gitaho, or Pala Elfonua, the Papa and Pala Elfonua. Bombet many Eddie in Como, Aquamo, how Ashram, or Sani Panona, or no chief of staff, no Etuna Abamano. But yet the son of the Papua, or Tuna Abamano, or sisters here their own to mention, but or say, no to Abanimano, ever win is an air or no name Piebo.
See, I was your party head office, the Akoso Honomono, and appel Ole no Edia Benti. Say, the vice president Atuna Berry, president, and so. said the Modi Kano, a president and as a chief of staff never told it. Mr. President, a decay, actually the area, and a chief of staff, Madame Fremont, Paris, actually the area. Mr. Moonshow videos, why? Moonshow videos, the videos was system with him. Now, who sent us, Mr. Abatono Air Costo, various centers, Ashanti region, Northern region, Savannah region, any party office, no videos, yes, Moonshow being from my CTV for yes, Moonshow videos, my now. I create a Facebook page, cranky show videos. Your friend McCarthy, yen to us why?
CTV so come.
Yen to us na me election and baha, yen election me quite na.
Anti-election production.
Yen to us yen
yes, 18 na make Kennedy $800 million claim no. Say a mugu. I say a yombugo, a nina so be
a yombugo, okay. Well, sir, or can it was at the time you can some
exactly.
Tra no one.
You need to speak with evidence. Or somebody who has elated himself, say, when your man penny abedu, ubedin yakayan some tra. And you see, the moment you throw that into the system, everybody asks of how your credibility, who PhD now, the namono, sign it here. Patriotic.
But na say you can't.
Honesty, the H no ewa hefa.
But sacrifice you can't. Kennedy can't some tra. What about Dr. Baumia?
Nana, Dr. Baumia, some trouble Ben waka.
Because Dr. Baumia so somehow on also work and go for. And go for so who say you tra.
Te said ye.
Because you can't be say obesi usua enko share.
And I'm saying my evidence. Some more can't try and any.
Enti Dr. Baumia so coming back.
My bako.
On also. Mema baako say ono so say constituency bia no obema appointment 10 and na obeye say
Nana
Vice President
Dr. Baumia
campaign
and no someone who can be different from Ken 800 million yakofa
allegation and no my but see
Ken allegation
and some
carry
allegation was it ya ofa no and na obi anso nim say enya atopa and ofa no and enya de ni mo obi ani baabi e che ba je say edin na wonye de wo moye o modi but see e ka say second can or can we say me my partner $3 million and then will be ya promise me yes me step in and me $800 million and to say no target can say on also credibility issues there and you say could be say Dr. Baumianso no so work kasa also say because Dr. Baumianso anu nsem no so kra no question mark and
someone Dr. Baumia kai ni nyina no enne nyame ya adom na 2 o'clock etu ahene ne yesi ahene foi enja ditumi hye yensa ya ba betra hanum ne Ansah because what it is that ensem ne bebre wo hono a nkrofo aka omato agu mframa mu a it behoves on us to now take time and come and respond to them because critically say by eneno if he leaves our party we will now need to respond to all those questions. No, I don't know the say Juma woho. It is work we have to do, but we are only waiting say by 4 o'clock. No, the declaration of the results will come in. We are sure say by 12 kanana. I responded by 2:30. Yet han mwabo se did that start pie kurum. No, ube huwe we ya ne do ahye yachi ne de ade ko.
Ade na de I was for Rebecca Latin so at yes, no so ni na mu bia nti yenkwa no Becky. Hello Becky, good morning.
Morning.
Na omo ti say he fa na esi e wudina.
Yo, this year me no ka say me wo assignment consistency. Na ube PM wo assignment consistency. Number of delegates are able to and e center. Ha yes friend etri nyaku school ni ewa ha 1799 delegates and able to wa ha usha police centers so a oma temi ni na electoral areas now oma kampo ma able to wa ha nyina 350 electoral areas na usha security presence ewa ha oma PC security pa ewa ha enya sentitwa na voting start here around 8:55 na netia ni say anapa bremo no nanke was say voting starting around 7 o'clock. But mentimi hwasi kakra pie wu if say na ken a chitafo a omo na ken you know no omo raise concerning omo album na omo de be eto aba no omo pa kire say eye album did that omo use no nanka omo say anka e was omo use album did that no ba eye omo say create another new album ata album no containing eye amount for say 15 omo nim omo every day dia omo de omo aka eye album for no nanka omo susu say eye album did that na eye omo use did that na anka was omo use nanso omo say eye region nso de ne album for ba ya akoye eye twenamentin ewa ha adane asema eda ho but isi ameni uka say here eye voting no impanyefo omo na ATM a voting na ekoso but as whether into 15 na omo edi omo aka new voters register no so as to whether they will vote or not no akoye buachi bi dia omo go to resolve this issue no na me no enka en twimu bebre no Mr. Sian, on no Ojidemu Emma Kennedy, a Japan, or higher than chicken comma. Opening patcho and a panel, you who say now, you may be caution concerning voters register now, one Tiasi. Siciano, then panel will issue a model to approach.
Yeah, you're pushy, no, so you need a drag issue now, and can election and muscle. Album now, that raises concern, our home. It is fraud with illegal delegates. And one of me insisted that is what he insisted that is what it money from Accra. There are also parties involved. Then I agree, and the agents, they agree, say, no, we have to use the constituency album, no, the constituency election last year. Obi Ajiatu, he said that on own you soon, although you should defeat head office. You ya can't easy, sir, or me other man, and one on base. And I don't have any other choice.
Into ISano, yeah, results never move accept ya na say more accept na nipa ahin na sisia omodi omo aka album no ho munim ehunhye.
They are more than 15. They are more than 50. Yeah. They are more than 50.
You know, because you won't say both.
Yes, the first issue I resolve now Prosi album also was very bad because Obi awu na Prosi amano. Obi so onwu ye otiase. No be usually din akoye Prosi. Right, I'm a phone Pakuna or Tias no about police command honor. Ober testify say on country be as Uncle Trabamano. Based on that, I agree that will not allow the Prosi list to go on into the area council Prosi list. No. And there was one other polling station and illegally created. And also they agree any film. But the rest now have to do with the replacement and things in the album now. It's like we agreed even yesterday at the police office say, oh, we will use that correct album to validate what the EC will use. And that's we even said, yeah, agree. So we are using the one that we know is the correct one. But EC is saying, hey, we are taking instruction from above. We need so they cannot use what we have agreed on, even the parties have agreed on. So what is that is the situation now that we've allowed the election to go on?
You know, Omuye now results may bar Mobegia to.
You see how they say, hey, process may cost. Right. But these are our grievances. These are grievances which we think the person is fair here. I can inquire whoever did that replacement. Right. Because can you imagine Ghana voters register? If you know now there's a procedure. You add certain document to indicate that but this one will be because it seems can supporter. Oh, yeah, you need from about next supporter. Now what happened? Yeah. So that is album they are using.
So and Nanama
senior Udi can see every can supporters no. Almost to say near Costona or use new album no. New album no authentic album and which use. Nanka Omoka said, and use album did not by in for Omaka.
Okay, Rebecca. Okay, say album new issue no Elisha so report Bisaya Ashanti region binum so delegate ni bia kwa wo mo edi ni mana regional minister say wo hwe no adi ho dwuma enti because say album elections akoso party internal elections akoso a constituency election no ne regional no ne ade enti na ene we say no kosa kafi
you see nana no kra wo ne say makati wa ha mebo obebo ame album to the elections was given to the candidates way back. Ama enumu no mu hwe mu de call ma probo nyina. Eba ni sign on the day of the elections. O say album asesa. Enti no, that is what we always have to address. And mamu me to allegations ni mu bebre. You see substantiate we no even on the time I dey abon ma no bi betumi afiri mu. Eno de yagitum say owo de ese binyam kopon nenim tam obi amrebeso obi betumi afiri mu enti no it is high time we will need to look at it but to say yase sabon no akoyi Kennedy Nkrofo afiri mu ba omi Nkrofo akoshim no I don't agree with Ashaman Ken rep na on all kasano because party abon humodin aye adwuma let's give credit to where credit is due but if there are challenges yes there will be challenge a human institution
but challenge no so na say onu so hunu say enya ba ko nyamienu nyamiesa na say to so dia say onu so be raise that issue
nana enu nti na make say
deliberate bi say bia
nana enu nti na make say we say yes start here no we will always have to use an appropriate method to resolve issues. There are human institutions, these things might come up into who are just draw the authorities. Be a constituency chairman, no. Be a chairman, notify you. He can also tell the regional chairman or the regional reps, and then these things can.
Constituency chairman, okay, and they are to Aba. And they are to Mutiway, Munim Nipado,
they knew of the album before the album got to the polling station. Every rep.
Okay.
Of a candidate have a copy of the album before he got to the polling station. Absolutely. So if you go and you think some McCarthy, say proxy votes, say proxy vote free. It is accepted by all the candidates in another BIC. And some of the BIC say, if you are a possible winner, a seminaba now one can be a suit take his size. Asem ne ba na akoka bia si ono nko akokan ne yotie enti it's better to keep quiet to allow others to bring their issues up and let's resolve them. Well enti no ye ba ye o se makati din nim makati wo hwe makati mo maso no de o se ba womia enti no ni din aba mu die o ye ba womia nipa pinpoint. Let's resolve those ones. Let the process continue.
Okay, process in the untimi nya wo hwe just e koso. But there ya ne say bia e koso wie ne etu wie na say o delegate nso bebre nso din ni mu a at the end of the day ya to awie. Okay, me ko na na tewie o nya ne tie say ono bokene Japan ne agent ba ko ya che no. Enti na na tewie na be.
Send you obema showdown.
So one dey onu saka na agent na say agent. Na say showdown banti. Na na tewie na ni.
And omo hwe ba bia kan won omo fa nto no say showdown ma dia.
Na na tewie.
Na ba wodi benka.
Yeah, me te wonka. Enya ne tie say police fo ache honorable Ken ni agent ba ko.
Yo, anana ma afna ka do ay no kan. Osu oye human na bebi a oye abatoro kodo wono na ahwebi video na madebe na ya peden ke benya full video na police no ba share ya den tamam yentum na e go just ni amen yentum ya video ni ya inde what ke Japan ni face oye youth organizer na so oye ni agent e we area wo na won so onam de 180 oye deputy minister of employment and they were lawyer but we could be whatever we need to pay and 100% like what I'm on. No, so shall never create Japan. So, what a partner power that area into Meguna, where your gas witness said they wanted to say, or yet, and okay, Japan or pension agency. What you more about to Naba, Emma, so like what to Abba. What's a large about when you need about could be on Pemont to Abba or Sunday. the whole DCN, unable Japan agents will introduce into on to Aba. On a give and take in one more day. One arrest unable Japan agents no strong call. Emily make say was not a Quaniman police station about to went to more continue more yas agents to Quano. We came out to Emily make say was not come Human police for another. And this is some as soon as ever him has his eye.
Video now dear bar agent not as a police for a channel where she are.
But I don't know what you send out and what a national.
And what day?
More Bonancasa.
And come on, Bonnet as a police for 1 year how one month more.
More Bono, almost women cinema conquer to Abano because this thing only a juice. Don't you do since winter month to Abba. No, I have passed, but I do a list move. I said, all to Naban, this or day, winter month to Nabano, and Nazi. I don't see a honorable agent in Tonaba, give and take a marquee, a large vice president of 2 Shadama. Police for intervene
okay. Nana, natural say, where your agent, the more honorable Canadian Japan. And delegate or Kwabena. And I almost want to any dues and to my name to Abano.
This was on to reduce into a month to Aban.
Hey.
Now, was that a condition?
Now, parting in penny for who accuses say, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, HD for a quarter share of Mobono. Constituency executive penny for because
it was the constituency.
And you know, yeah, because a maybe constituency chairman and answer constituency in penny for him for a party in Shayani say, so be to any dues, in as much as any delegate, no, so when you any dues, I want to conquer Twaba.
And then I'm if I make a say, yeah, pretty as a chairman needs in common, no, constituency executive, Baucachende, what we are more time now, when you're Bacasa, and see, Moiso, what's your more time, and see, I'm sure coming here, Chade, oh, yeah, Himawano, one MP, oh, yeah, a minister, deputy minister of employment, a lawyer, also that one out in there, or don't make sure there, a large about nobody 100% on the area. Now, so what shall you delegate now? Why grassroots for no? What's the one as some of one could know you from Yakase? Now, I'm up there in Tinyada, them, my one MP executive was shown by force are there. Over to Abba Farmer composition, a yard of possible. In Tiwaso, what Probia, 1 and 1 over to now, I don't need them come on. Now, some of Kusua, if you have a corner, let's wash and let's say, one that was targeted for food. If they also will live in listen. Well, delegate the party card ever put up no. Ever going within him. And I think, is this a massive game? No, so all Quadra, no, so delegate to be all the good footed and other banana. And so you are beginning some painful